I am Buccaneer Blake, one of the many stick carriers and loyal fans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is Buck and Blake Sports. Check it out.
Go Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. First and goal, we gotta tough it out. Get in the end zone and call a hot route. O-line a beast, Mike down the street. And have Humphreys run right underneath. You know it's Bucks ball, we got the hardest D. Bring the pressure to the QB. You know it's routine, we got hard greens. Welcome to Tampa, welcome to Tampa. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Reppin' for my team. Go Bucks, go Bucks. You know we want the ring. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Welcome to the Bay. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Tune in with Buccaneer Blade. Bucks back, we can run the toss. Mike Evans looking like Randy Moss. And Jameis make a play on the defense. You can't stop Levante. On my boy McCoy, who you can't avoid. At the Raymond James, you about to feel the pain. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. Go Bucks.
So we live? We are live. Hope somebody signs in soon. So, I can test out, make sure the audio's working. Normally I wouldn't broadcast at this time. I'm out out today. Recovering from a little soreness, a little injury. Daryl, Vanessa, can y'all tell me how the audio is? Yeah, I gotta stay long. Tell me if you can hear me good. Ricardo. Hold on. Eric, is audio good? Good. Just want to make sure. Alright, everybody. Welcome to Buck and Blake Sports with your host, Mr. Buccaneer Blake himself. I can see you guys' comments and stuff, so if you want to chime in as we're going on, I'll get to you at the end, so I'm not going back and forth unless it's on the exact topic. And I'll try to jump in and get it. Like I said, I want to give a shout out to everybody, supporters, Gypsy Shy Lashes, Tampa Bay Care Corps, Nuketown Recording. Some people that always supported from day one. Yeah, I might check in, Eric. Daryl says sound good. You hear me good? So let's talk about Thursday's game. I wanted to wait till Sunday, Monday time when all of the games happen instead of just talking about one lonely game for Thursday. Bucks lose to Pats at home. We give Pats their first, well, not Pats, but Bill Belichick and Tom Brady their first win in Tampa Bay since they've been playing together. Kind of sad that it happened, but I guess it's good for them. The margin of victory won everywhere but here until Thursday. That's our first home loss. We were 2-0 at home, Bears and the Giants. So we're 2-1 versus, what's up, Lauren? 2-1 with a home record right now. Where we at? Winston, let's talk about the day a little bit. Winston and Brady kind of had an off day, I'd say. Brady didn't start off too hot. He was responsible for 2 turnovers himself. Thanks, Eric. He was responsible for 2 turnovers himself. Winston didn't create any turnovers. He played, I guess, pretty much with a handicap on his leg now. Fans and Dirk Cutter wanted him to be, handicapped with the ball instead of, being what I call him Black Favre. Gunslinger mentality. He trying to get the ball to people, and he playing more conservative. That's what I think a lot of the hesitant throws and stuff is happening now. He's more conscientious with the ball because everybody wants to critique him, but it's just Jameis is Jameis. He's got to play. He definitely didn't lose us the game Thursday, but he didn't win us the game neither. I know everybody and a lot of writers and stuff, made a lot of comments. Blaming the kicker for a game is the same as asking a 14-year-old to pay mortgage. I mean, I get what you're saying, but if you want to flip that on the other hand, so is the Patriots Super Bowls tainted because the field goal kicker won the game? Like I said, I'm not going to get into that. Everybody's responsible for their own job. Everybody's responsible for execution. If you don't execute, then it's poor execution or poor planning or whatever the case may be. You have to accept responsibility that you didn't play well, and he did not play well. You missed 3 kicks. Granted, the one was the long field goal that Winston put us in that position to even get a field goal attempt before half. But it is what it is, and we came away with a loss against one of the worst defenses in the league. What's up, Phil? And it's just what it is. We have to move forward. And it just, like I said before, I said in the last video, it's just when we lose and stuff, you can't just start winning everybody's heads and all that. You just can't. It's 4 games. They're 4 games in, and you can't be calling for people's heads and all this stuff. You just can't bring down the morale of a team and say the things that you say to people and expect them to want to perform. All the stuff that you're saying to Nick Foles on the sideline, maybe he missed the kicks on purpose. In the end, he got the last laugh. Because what happens is you cut a player, he's still getting paid. Robert Aguero is still getting paid. Nick Foles is still getting paid. And now we got Patrick Murray here. He's getting paid. So technically we're paying 3 kickers right now. So in the end, they're getting the last laugh. Maybe you should, cheer the player on and try to give him some confidence to finish the game so you can win, and then talk trash after he's done his job. You don't want. It's kind of okay. Here, let me give you a good metaphor. And I won't order food with you if you do this. We go to Burger King and McDonald's, Wendy's, whoever fast food joint, and if I'm in a car with people that are talking trash to people that are making my food, I won't order anything. So because at the end of the day, they're gonna get the last laugh. They're making your food. Nick Folk is making your food. He's the one kicking the kicks. And when you're talking trash to him and you expect him to still execute his job, you're not paying him. The NFL is, or the Buccaneers are, and he's going to get paid off of this. So it is what it is. They signed him to IR. I believe they're going to cut him and sign. I think you're going to put him on IR. You're paying him anyway, so I guess if Murray doesn't work out, you got reserves. We'll see what happens with that. I've never seen that one before. Amidst them, I was talking about inaccuracies and stuff in the game. Brady, he threw some bad balls, but nobody's talking about that. Big Ben threw 5 interceptions this week. Winston did miss Jackson deep. He's just never been a player that throws a deep ball. He's never been a player that's mastered deep ball. You've had like big receivers or underneath receivers and stuff like that, and that's the type of game he's usually always played. So for somebody with that kind of speed you're not used to, I can understand that. I mean, you've had chance all off season to mesh together, but it's nothing like game time situation. You can't anticipate you scrambling and finding the guy deep and then getting the ball delivered. You can't simulate that. Game time experience, fans, weather conditions, and stuff like that. You can't train for that. Do I think it needs to get better? Absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with fans on that point. It has to get better, but you just can't start calling that Winston's not the guy. Look at Mariota. At least Winston's playing. Mariota hasn't finished the season yet, and he's out right now. I'm not even going to get in there. I told you Jake Locker 2.0. And that's just what it is, man. You just have to take. That's what my motto is. We take a game by game. That's the way I look at everything. You take it one game at a time, one play at a time, one practice at a time, and that's how you go. Because you don't know what can happen. Somebody could get hurt falling down the stairs. Now you have to make game changes. Weather conditions could be different. There's just so many things that could happen that you cannot plan for, and it's not always just boiled down. Well, this team's better than that team. Some people you got to take advantage of situations that are in. Like we should have took advantage of the Vikings when they had Sam Bradford out. We didn't. They came up with a better game plan than we did. And here's the thing: everybody wants to get on Vernon Hargreaves. He was drafted the first pick. Blah 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 blah. He's been in the league. This is his 2nd year. You're playing on the other side with Brent Grimes, who's fairly a really decent corner. And it's just like playing on the other side of Richard Sherman. You're gonna get all the balls thrown at you, and everybody's criticizing you. You're playing off. First off, everybody says this every week. Well, why is he playing 20 yards off? You do what you're told to do. If that's what your coverage scheme is, that play, then that's the coverage scheme that you play on that play. If you want to get mad at that, then blame the head coach, the defensive coordinator, for the coverage that you're playing. So if you're not educated as far as here, I'm here to tell you, he's playing the coverage that he's coached to play. If they're telling you to play 15, 10 yards off, then you play 15, 10 yards off. If you're told to play 2 yards off or 1 yard off from the receiver, then you play 1 or 2 yards off the receiver. You do what you're told to do. Now, on the flip side of that, when it's your coverage and the ball's in the air and you're not making plays on it, I can't argue with that. Sometimes they're just great throws. Sometimes the receiver just makes a great catch. There's nothing you can do about that. I said I still think Patrick Peterson is a decent corner, but everybody had this argument about zone coverage and man coverage corners, and Patrick Peterson was the most beat corner in the NFL that one season, but everybody praises him. But it happens. It just happens. You get the best of you sometimes. You just want to be less more than more. Where we at? We're rambling on with that. What's up, bro? What's up, Dominique? Fayetteville in the house. So a lot of people were complaining about him going to break on big downs. If he's open in a one-on-one situations, then you go to him. Now, let me put it to you like this. If you're having success running the ball and the defense knows you're running the ball, the other team knows you're running the ball, you're known to running the ball, why would you stop running the ball? If Cam Brate's open on big downs and you throw to Cam Brate out, he's not throwing picks throwing to Cam Brate. Cam Brate's dropping passes that are wide open to him. And that's kind of what did Freeman in at the end of the year. I think, what's up, Brooke? I said, Freeman at the end of the season, he had a whole bunch of drops. I think it was like 19 drops in the amount of games that he played at the end of the year. But everybody wants to point out completion rate. Well, why aren't completions, drop passes infrastructured into your analysis of incompletions? Because that's a part of a pass, right? The dude has to get the ball to the receiver accurately, and the receiver has to do his job and catch it. But the quarterback only gets all the flack for the incompletion. I just never understood that. If football is more than one person thing, he can't throw it and he can't. What up, Fred? Thanks for always being around. You can't throw it and catch it. Everybody has to do their job. They were talking about that before, but tip passes, if the ball hits the receiver square in the hands and he just don't catch it and it flies in the defender's hand, it's all the quarterback's fault? Really? I don't know. Like I said, that's why I say humans, they choose to blame whatever fits their ulterior motive of their argument. And that's just what they do. Instead of looking at it as a totality. I know I defend Winston a lot, and the reason I defend Winston a lot is because it is his second year. You are taking over a franchise that has never had a franchise quarterback in its existence. And everybody keeps talking about, you make the jump to the next level. Stop putting people in a box. Stop putting people in a box. Stop putting limitations and dates on when somebody can learn something and jump to elevate to another level, because you don't know that. You in your life may have not done that. Your story might be different than the next man. It's the same as a quarterback. Eric, I'll get to that in a second. It might not be the same as the quarterback. Look at Alex Smith. Took him many years to finally get it, and he's looking to be the MVP. I'm actually rooting for Alex Smith to be the MVP of the National Football League, and because he sets the standard of you can't put expectations on a person, you can't put limitations on a person, and given the right situations and the right support, look what a man can accomplish. You'll say, well, he was a first-round pick. Okay, his team went undefeated that year. No, you guess he was the best quarterback on the board at that time. That's what happens. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But everybody thought he was done and he was a bust. So now look at him. Some people can't catch on fast enough. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't play till his 4th season before he finally got in. Where you at, Eric? I'm sorry. I told you I was going to get back to that. Do we need an offensive coordinator? My concern is Cutter's taking on too much. I know Belichick does that, but I'm waiting to see Cutter prove he can do both. I talked about that like a little earlier. I think he's putting a boot on Jameis Winston. Don't wanting to limit turnovers. Of course, you want that for anybody who's touching the ball. I think that's where a lot of you're not letting a man go out and play a game he knows how that he loves and plays and prepares for. I remember an interview with Dirk Cutter, and I remember a lot of words being said about Jameis Winston. He's going to be the next Jamarcus Russell. Just see, with somebody just saying that is that people want you to fail right off the beginning and don't know you from a can of paint. And I listened to a lot of Ray Lewis's speeches, and he said something. He said something one time that meant a lot. That people say stuff and then they act like I'll get back to it because I'm saying this for a reason. Just listen to me. I said Ray Lewis said when he was coming into the league, he said he was too small. This guy was telling her like he knew all about Ray Lewis. He could never make it. He's too small, not big enough, not fast enough. And Ray Lewis was going to be the front of the first round draft picks, and he had an interview with this same man. And Ray Lewis said, "Do you know who I am?" And the man did not didn't get what Ray Lewis was saying or didn't catch on at that time. And Ray Lewis remembered every word that man said, and the man didn't have nothing to say what he said before. So he totally just flipped around everything he just said negatively about this man because, I don't know, it's your opinion or what it is. I like how you can predict how a player's going to be in the league when you don't know what kind of system he's going to be in, how he's going to be used in the league, and so forth and so forth. I know I've been a person to think how a player is going to turn out in the league as well, but it's just the statistics of success at a certain thing or stuff like that. Maybe that's my own fault, being a hypocrite a little bit there, so I try not to put labels on people so much anymore because the things man can accomplish are pretty amazing, astronomical that they could do if you have the amount of heart to play this game and play for your city or play for your family or play for whoever you play for, a paycheck or whatever it is. The limitations are limitless. Your abilities can be astronomical if you believe what you're saying, if you believe in yourself. And that right there is the first key of any action. That's much like I like one of my favorite characters, the Green Lantern. The first course of any action is will. You have to want to do something. It's the first course of any action is the will. How much will do you have? Where was I at before that? We were talking about Ray Lewis, and I was talking about limits on people and things like that. I think people get a little beside themselves and they become a little hypocritical when you see today's world with issues and stuff like that. When you would say people are people taking needs, and everybody's this, and then but athletes are suddenly not people, and they're a matter of statistics when it fits your ulterior motive in your conversation. So I just find it, hypocritical and funny sometimes how your conversation, people can be people and everybody should, be judged and treated the same and fairly. But on the other hand, you treat athletes as if they're Romans in a gladiator or just people getting, I don't know what you want to call them, court jesters, people that are here just to entertain you and stuff like that. And that's why some people don't understand why athletes get like that. Oh, they're getting paid millions of dollars. You got to stop looking at the amount of money somebody's making. It's not their fault that you make the money you make and the money that they make. They worked for theirs, and you worked for yours. You're getting paid for what you worked for. And like I said, I'm not saying that to demeanor anybody. I'm not saying that, but a lot of the situations we're in, it's our fault. There are situations that it's not our fault, and that's but at the end of the day, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to change something about it? You can't blame somebody forever. People don't need help making excuses. People don't need help gaining weight. People don't need help doing stuff like that. They can do that on their own. They do it well and fine. It's just a lot of things like that. That's what I mean. I think people, even in movies, Captain America said when he didn't want to join the military and forge it, he says people's motives change, and that's true. And it changes to fit your objective. I guess it's just what what the world is, and I have to accept it sometimes. And I try not to judge people off what their opinions are, and it's really hard sometimes, but I have to learn to keep my composure and poise. See how you can go on football and talk about life and stuff like that. It's just so easy to do that. For me, at least, it is. I think the Bucs should have went the ball to Martin a little bit more. 16 carries, I think 16 or 13 carries wasn't enough, especially the big running lanes that he was getting in the game. I think the offline was really boding well with him in the game. Jacquez Smith didn't really get off to start. The only part that's going to kill Martin is his hands. He really has to work on catching, because when we put Charles Sims in, they know they're not going to hand him the ball, and he doesn't want to run the ball hard between the tackles. He wants to jive, because Sims can catch better passes. Like I said, it makes us predictable on offense. We have to find somebody. That's why I think we'll probably get that Penn State running back possibly, or some type of pass rusher, or it depends on who's coming out in the draft. But I think we can get better in that type of situation, being more predictable on running pass situations depending on who we come in the backfield. And I know some of you fans don't look at it that way, but I'm trying to teach, my little buddy Daryl, stuff like that. You gotta look at the way people play, the way safeties sit, and the way coverages are. You can tell a lot of where the ball's gonna go and stuff like that. You have to learn to dissect the game, and you learn that over time instead of you're watching the game instead of watching a game, if that makes sense. But yes, I think Martin should have got more carries. He was doing pretty good. He was hitting somebody in his time off because he played really well. Where are we at? I want to say the story of the game was pretty much drop passes. Brady or Winston didn't really play well that game. Only difference was Brady's receivers caught the needed passes when they needed, and ours didn't. And that's pretty much the way I see it is what happened. That's just the Patriots for you. They come through and cut situations no matter who's playing where, and they just come through, and that's just what they do. That's why they've been Super Bowl champs so many times. What can I say? You got out-coached, you got outplayed when the time came down to it. And that's pretty much the story of the tape. And let's go to the favorite subject, Mr. Nick Foles. Where do I start? Well, he's on IR now. I reported that he was cut. That he might have been cut and then placed on IR. The reason I think he was placed on IR is in case Patrick Murray doesn't work out and you have a fail-safe plan, because right now at this current moment you're paying 3 kickers. You're still paying Robert Aguayo. You're still paying Nick Folk. Now you're paying Patrick Murray. Crazy how things turn out. You're paying 3 kickers in one season. Who would have thought that? Now you see why I say one game at a time, right? I was going to say Nick Folk has missed 7 kicks in 3 games. Robert Aguayo missed 11 all season. At this rate, Nick Folk missed in 1 game the amount of licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, which is 3.
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. 3.
I said Nick Folk has missed in 2 games the same amount of NBA championships LeBron James promised Miami, which didn't happen. 7.
Came down here to win championships. Not 1, championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
I just think, I don't know, sometimes we're too premature. I think we wanted Robert Aguayo gone because we picked him in the 2nd round and we wanted something to change. It's just, you just don't know. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. You don't know. What can you do? You don't know. All you can do is go day by day and take things game by game, and you try not to make rash decisions based on fans that have no clue about football. They watch football but don't know football. It's a true quote. Like I said, I'm not fretting and stuff. They gave the best that they could at the injuries that they had and stuff like that against the Patriots. Buccaneers had no star linebackers. We had Kendall Beckwith, who has been playing lights out. The Buccaneers are right on with that pick. Darius Glanton, been a veteran on his team, came in and played well. And I'm glad our defensive line is held together. And the secondary has played good when they've gotten the chances. It's just like I tell you, you don't know each day. You just don't know each game. They gave everything they got. I know they didn't leave anything out there, and I'm not upset with the loss. I'm really not. It's just hearing all this stuff, and I'm just learning why players don't keep social media pages and listen to fans and naysayers. Like I said, I've said over and over, this world is just so filled with negativity. I really try to stay away from it as much as possible, and it really doesn't matter who you are. I'll totally tune you out. I'll stay away from you. I won't talk to you much, and it's just too much of it, and I'm just really tired of hearing it so much all the time. That concludes with TV shows and things like that. It doesn't attract me. I believe that's all the notes I got, unless you guys got something else you want to add in here for you guys that have stuck with me so far. I see Eric has posted something. I didn't see those. 2 straight games with 600 yards plus 0 INTs. Winston's not the problem. Like I said, Eric, Winston didn't win us that game, but he definitely didn't lose us that game. We need to get Jackson and Howard involved more. Jackson Howard involved more, establishing the run again will naturally open that up. I've said this before. I've said it to Daryl several times. If there's no need to respect the run, then there's no need for them safeties to come out of sitting high over Jackson and Mike Evans. You have to get them out of there. And then once you get them out of there, that one safety will start rolling over top of somebody. He'll roll over either that, and that's when the underneath opens up to Brait or O.J. Howard, the back, Mike Evans or Jackson. They're more likely going to play over Jackson's side because he can break up and score on any single play, just getting behind coverage. But it's not going to happen till you establish that run. Just watch the safety. Some safety sitting over his top. You're not going to get that ball there. And you saw the one play that should have been picked when we tried to force the ball deep to Jackson. The safety ran over and almost picked it, because that's what they're doing. They're sitting over top and then running back over Jackson's side. That's why you can't get the ball deep. People don't tend to understand that. You're not going to get a ball deep somewhere with somebody playing 15 yards off and then you have safety help over top. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get the ball there. Danny saying word. I don't know what you're talking about. What up, Torres? What up, more? That's all I got to add right now. I've been rambling on long enough. Thanks, guys, for hanging in there with me. Sorry for the late post. I couldn't get the Giants post up. Something's been going on with iMovie with the new update. Myself and other people are having issues rendering the files and exporting them. Having issues, so I'm gonna find out if I'll have the same problem with this one when I try to edit it and put all the little funny stuff in there. But we'll see what happens. If it's not, then it is what it is. Just keep checking the website at BuccaneerBlakeSports.com, BuccaneerBlakeSports.com, and NiarCree.com, Buck and Blake at IG, and Buck and Blake at Twitter, Buck and Blake Sports at IG. Just continue to check it out. Show your support for your guys, Torres, and everybody. Well, this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do, it is entirely up to you. Thank you, guys. God bless, and fire those cannons. Now, if I can find the button.